It's another rainy day here in Mumbai, and thankfully I'm not riding a bike, I'm actually here in a car. And with me today is the all-new Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace. Now, why does it have the Allspace in the name? Well, that's because now it's much longer than before. The wheelbase has been increased by about 100 millimeters, which is about 10 centimeters, which is about that much. So what's the difference really? Well, they've now added another third row of seats in the back to make it a 7-seater. And of course, it's got a heart transplant. It's now only with a petrol engine. So why all these changes? Well, let's find out. So here we are, guys. We're finally inside the all-new Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace. Now, the dashboard is more or less exactly the same. The biggest difference here is that it's now got a digital instrument cluster, and that's the only change you'll notice. The feel is still very premium and a very conservative design, nothing flashy. But when you step inside, it definitely does feel very plush and very nice. Coming to the second row of seats, the comfort levels are still very nice, lots of legroom and headroom. But now that they've added a third row of seats, we had to go back there and see what it would be like. And I'm sorry to say there's absolutely no space whatsoever. No one can fit back there unless you're about 3 feet tall or if you're a small little animal. So I don't think the third row really makes any difference whatsoever. If you want a third row, get a different car. Now, coming to the engine, I have to say that I'm surprised that Volkswagen has made the switch from diesel to only offering a petrol engine in the Tiguan Allspace. So this one is a 2-liter turbocharged petrol engine that gets about 190 brake horsepower and 320 Nm of torque. So the horsepower has gone up, while the torque has gone down when you compare it to the diesel. And as expected, you don't get that initial great punch in the acceleration from the petrol engine. The torque does kick in from about 2000 RPM, so it is good in the low revs and it does push you forward, but it's missing that nice little punch forward. But overall, the engine's very refined, very smooth. Driving on the highway, the car is very well planted. Obviously, it's a German car and it's made for those road conditions. I really like the way that the transmission also works. I've always loved the DSG transmissions. This is a 7-speed again, and it just downshifts whenever you want it to. So if I'm driving normally and I press down the acceleration, it just downshifts by itself and pushes me forward. Shifts are very fast and very smooth. You have paddle shifters as well if you want that. Coming to the way the car handles, that's probably the only thing about this car that's not very driver focused. And I'm sorry to say, if you're driving a car called an Allspace, you can't expect it to be driver focused in the first place. So I'm not complaining about the handling. I'm just saying that it's not a very sharp driving car. It's a very light steering and it's a very comfortable handler in the city, of course. You also do get different driving modes. You have sport, you have snow, you have eco, and then you have off-road as well, and you can adjust that also to individual settings. So the steering and the throttle all can be adjusted to how you like. And even if you put everything in sport mode, there's nothing sporty about this car, perhaps for the acceleration, because it does accelerate from 0 to 100 in about 9 seconds. So overall, there's no big difference in ride quality than the older Tiguan. Both of them drove very well, handled nicely in the city. I do not think anyone would ever be taking this car off-road, even though it has an off-road mode. And I honestly don't even think anyone would be driving this car if they bought it. This is more of a chauffeur-driven vehicle in India. But on the whole, yes, a very good product. It's got a lot of fantastic features, a lot of great safety features. There is only one variant now in the Tiguan Allspace, and it comes fully loaded with everything you could imagine. The only thing that seems to be missing is wireless phone charging, but I don't even own a fancy phone, so I don't even care. So yes, everything seems to be made nicely and the car drives nicely. Obviously, it's German engineering. I also like the fact that it has this auto hold button here, so when you're driving in traffic and you let go of the brake pedal, the car won't move forward, it stays where it is. Parking sensors, you've got hill descent control, you've got auto start stop, amazing climate control, nice infotainment touch-play system, good speakers. So everything you could ask for in a 33 lakh rupee car, it has all of it. Well, The car is great for sure. It's got great ride quality, German engineering, and it's very comfortable. But is the 7-seater really necessary? I mean, if you look at the market, there are so many cars already out there that are either cheaper and have better space. So what's the point of having a 7-seater in this vehicle? Now, you've got the Kia Carnival, which is fantastic. You've got the Toyota Innova, the Honda CR-V, the Toyota Fortuner, the Ford Endeavour. All very, very good cars. Sure, not as premium as this, but still, they have great ride quality, superb comfort, and offer you more or less the same features. The main thing here is that Volkswagen is just trying to keep itself in the market, because next year, they're going to be launching products based on the MQB platform. The Tiguan Allspace behind me is only here in limited numbers. The T-Roc itself also only sold in small numbers. These are basically token products here to keep customers engaged while Volkswagen gets ready to launch their localized MQB platform next year.